The armistice of November 11, 1918 was signed in a little train car in the Champagne forest. The Germans would sign the submission of defeat to the French in the cramped quarters of this locomotive. To follow up this embarrassing armistice, another treaty that would absolutely gut the German economy would be penned and forced onto the German people. The place was the Hall of Mirrors, Versailles, France. The date, June 28, 1919, 5 years after the assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand, which originally sparked the First World War. The conditions of this treaty? Blatantly unjust and unconscionable. The War Guilt Clause. This states the German people would accept full responsibility for starting the war and any and all damages resulting from such war. The Reparations Clause. Germany would be ordered to pay 132 billion gold marks to the Allied nations, and later when the payments were defaulted on, the Allies would occupy Germany and seize control of her most prized resources, further putting the economy into a downward spiral. Then of course there was the territorial losses. Roughly 27,000 square miles, or 13% of Germany's pre-war borders, were taken and divvied up between the Allied nations. A couple Allied nations, such as Italy and Japan, would be forgotten about when land and money was to be handed out. And that would play into later irony of which this video is to be a prime focus. And last but not least, the icing on this bitter cake we call the Treaty of Versailles is the forced dearmament of the once great German military. Their army would be reduced to no more than 100,000 men and 4,000 officers strictly for nation defense. They would have heavy naval restrictions, submarines and dreadnoughts were strictly prohibited. And in the air? Well, there would be no air force. Germany was banned from military aviation indefinitely. The Allies also made strict rules on where Germany's small army could be. West of the Rhine would be off limits and considered demilitarized, while Allied forces could and would occupy it themselves to ensure complete compliance. This treaty would be the knife in the back that would lead to Germany holding such a grudge to the Allied nations. When a proud people are forced to their knees with very few options to succeed, they begin to look for change. A storm had begun to form over Germany, and the pot was hot. And if you had just the right ingredients, such as a leader driven by revenge, a large amount of propaganda, and a problem along with someone to point the finger at, every once in a great while you will get a dictator. But the dictator Germany would get would be unlike any before him or any to come after. Adolf Hitler would torch the Treaty of Versailles and begin rebuilding Germany to greatness through his own perspective. He would take back the Sudetenland and Czechoslovakia and bring his birthplace of Austria into the Reich, then toppling Poland to start the Second World War. Two countries, Japan and Italy, who felt they had been previously wronged by the Allies, would join the Axis, again with this irony. To ensure a complete buffer on the border of the Reich, Hitler would plan and successfully accomplish the invasion of France. And wouldn't you know it, Hitler had a keen sense of irony himself. He had workers tear down a museum wall to have the original train car from the World War I armistice signing transported and prepped to force the signing of a French surrender to the Nazi high command. This must have been an incredible slap in the face to the French people. Their country would be occupied by the Nazis for 4 years, with many horrendous atrocities being committed onto the French and Jewish people. The historical irony of this story is fascinating. It's remarkable how the tables can turn and the shoe can so quickly be forced on the other's foot. Borders can quickly be rewritten and countries can rise and fall all in the same lifetime. As the sand trickles through the hourglass and history writes itself, the wheel of irony spins, and history front and center will be there and ready to tell the story. If you enjoy what we do, please like and subscribe.